All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
And I am Rashad. Oh, Scott. Scott, not Rashad.
We're doing Rashad Bateman tonight. He was kind of in that cluster in the late first, early second of last year's Superflex rookie drafts. Shane's a fan. He's going to go first here. Bye, right?
Yeah, little known fact. I'm really bad at math. Rashad Bateman's averaging 5.5 targets per game. 7.9 fantasy points. He did have a nice little stretch there in weeks 7, 9, and 10, 3 games in a row where he broke 10 fantasy points. I don't know what to think of him. I thought he was going to step in, honestly, and just take over the wide receiver 1 role in Baltimore. Unfortunately, I didn't foresee that Marquise Hollywood Brown was not really looking to give up that role and was going to finally produce as the wide receiver 1 on that team. So now I'm a little less bullish on Bateman. I'll buy if someone's selling for a second, but it's not like earlier in the season or earlier in the offseason where I was going out of my way to try to get Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I mean, Shane gave some numbers. I was just checking, where was his value after the draft, after the build-up? Because remember, he got pretty significant hype, during the summer. And then he had that core surgery during the preseason. And it kind of like pushed him off the radar when people knew he's going to be out for the first month. Like, people were still excited for him, but it wasn't like as excited as they would have been if he would have been out there opening week. So basically he missed the whole first month of the season. But I was just checking, he was wide receiver 30 back in August. So before, you knew he was definitely going to be out for the first month of the season. But he was a 6th round startup pick then. He's wide receiver 33 now. Or no, excuse me, he was a 5th round startup pick, and he's wide receiver 33 now, but he's a 6th round startup pick. So it kind of just speaks to the fact that, like, even though he's come back and he's produced, his value has fallen a little bit. Yet, I think he's going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be forgiven kind of for this season, no matter what he does. So I think his value is going to be one of those where it's like, we're going to test this theory of like the face planners this offseason, because I think we're going to get a lot of bias with what these guys were pre-draft and preseason versus postseason compared to their profiles, because we've seen, the profiles that we want haven't spiked up, and some of the profiles that we haven't loved have spiked up big time. So, yeah, it's tough for me to say like I'm convicted on buying, because some of the numbers say like if a guy doesn't hit right away, he's going to be good. I think he's a wide receiver 2 probably going forward if he hits. But does he have a ceiling that's higher than that? Does he ever have a ceiling higher than Hollywood Brown? He's going to play his entire rookie contract probably with Hollywood Brown, assuming that Hollywood's there through his 5 years and maybe gets tagged. I mean, who knows?
Let's put him next to a guy who was taken next to him in the drafts. Would you rather have Bateman and an early 22 second or Elijah Moore?
Elijah.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, the early 22 second probably gives you another dart throw at another Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, Bateman, Tony, Marshall. Like, you're basically just taking 2 shots for 1, but I'm pretty sure at this point we can probably check Elijah Moore's rookie year box off as pretty stellar.
If you're a contender, are you giving up Bateman for James Conner?
No, I need a little more. Even though I know it's pretend, I need a little more safety for 2022, even if I can just tell myself that there's safety.
Okay.
Fournette?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm thinking that you said safety for 2022, but then I just kind of upped the offer about 10 to 20% there with Fournette.
Fournette, we would probably have the starts of a negotiation that would end very uncomfortably for me, with me accepting a trade that involved me trading Bateman with some other pieces involved.
Okay.
I would definitely give up Fournette for or give up Bateman for Fournette. About Rashad Bateman and a 23 second rounder, 2023 second, Rashad Bateman, or a 23 first.
Those firsts are worth okay. So those
Not
23
first.
firsts are they're worth so much.
So that just shows how much they're worth to you guys, huh?
Yeah.
You give up a 23 second Rashad Bateman for a 23 first.
I think the idea is that just tells you right there, Bateman's probably not worth the first. So if it's essentially like trading 2 seconds for a first. So yeah, if someone's going to give up, I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are, I hate using the word arrogant, but they're like, oh, Rashad Bateman's a stud. I'll give up my 108 for him. It's like, that's probably bad process to give up even your mid to late first for a receiver when you're going to get the exact same kind of profile receiver right next year. So I think you're just a little player bias there.
Who would you rather have, Michael Gallup or Rashad Bateman?
Bateman.
Probably Bateman. Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's not like Bateman's tied to a bad situation. I mean, yeah, he's not the best receiver on the team, but like he's not tied to like a terrible team with a terrible quarterback, with a terrible offense. You know, like it's a fairly progressive offense. I'd rather project him going forward than a lot of other receivers.